Hello YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review. This week I am reviewing another anime from one of my favorite genres, sports animes. I've loved sports animes ever since I started watching anime, so they are a fixed segment of my seasonal watch list. And this week I am reviewing Hanebado, or the badminton play of Ayano Hanesaki, an anime that I had quite some expectations for. The story of Hanebado centers around first-year high school student Ayano Hanesaki, who used to be a badminton prodigy, but ever since her mother left her for not being good enough, she avoids the sport altogether. Now in high school, she gets dragged back into a badminton club by her friend, where she ferociously clashes with third-year Nagisa Aragaki, who trains day and night to become the best and is therefore also very hard on the other members of the team. Eventually, Ayano joins the badminton club, and that causes some serious friction between the two. So, can they set their differences aside and aim for the top? That is what this anime is about. The first thing that I found well done in Hanebado was the animation style. The whole anime breathes badminton. With that I mean that it's very snappy and fast, which are key components of the sport. Before I started martial arts, I actually played badminton for 4 years, and it is a very fast-paced, explosive sport. And I found that the used animation style helped in showing that to the viewers. Also, the opening sequence was well done in that view, and again showed how intense this sport is. And the realistic sound effects were very well done in this anime. The second positive point in Hanebado can be found in the personality of our main female character Ayano. I loved the duality in her personality. She really had two faces. On one side, she was a very shy, unsure child, really still a child. Like with the whale backpack, there Ayano showed her childish nature. But then there was the other side, the badminton side. As soon as badminton came into play, Ayano's personality took a 180-degree turn and she basically became a major bitch. She showed her obsessive side. She was truly obsessed with badminton and being the best, and the only thing that mattered was winning. Her personality towards the sport was quite realistic. If you want to be the best at something, you have to become obsessed with it. That is how you become the best. Now, Ayano went really far in this and acted really cocky and disrespectful towards her opponents, which is something that you shouldn't do even if you are the best in the world. But as I said, it was this contrast in her personality that made her a very interesting character. And finally, also a short word about the other female character, Nagisa. Nagisa embodied something very important in sport, being effort and determination. It's not because you're not talented in something that you can't become good at it. If you're willing to put in the work and the effort and the willpower, then even without talent you can get to the top. And usually it's those people who have to work their butt off that will truly reach the top. To me, that was a very important life lesson that Nagisa's character conveyed. Now, the negative side of Nagisa's character was that she was pushed a bit to the side in Hanebado. Because of the focus of this anime laying with Ayano's story, Nagisa was degraded to a side character in my opinion. They could have done a lot more with Nagisa, but there was so much that needed to be told in the Ayano storyline that there wasn't time for that. And I found it a bit of a shame that we didn't get the full depth of Nagisa's personality. Second thing that I didn't like in Hanebado was the mother story, and especially the way how it was concluded. Having a story with a stringent parent figure who thinks their child isn't good enough is used regularly in this type of animes. And Hanebado used that same template, with Ayano's mother being a total bitch. You don't abandon your child because she isn't as good as you hoped she would be. But my biggest problem was that Hanebado used the standard conclusion for this kind of story. all of these animes give the parents' personality some kind of twist that justifies their behavior. So I already felt it coming as soon as Ayano's mother was introduced, and unfortunately Hanebado went exactly where I thought it was going. And to end, 4 short negative points. 1. The 2 rival arcs about Koni and Kaoruko could have been developed more. 2. The story between Yu and Hayama was never concluded. 3. Just like I said in my review of Harukana Receive, sport animes are not very original, and neither is Hanebado with its standard abandoned prodigy story. And 4. Also like Harukana Receive, Hanebado ends too early with no hope of a continuation. I would love to see Ayano and Nagisa at the Nationals, but like 90% of the sport animes out there, Hanebado ends too early to see that. So as a conclusion, despite a few problems, I really liked Hanebado. I found it a very interesting anime to watch, also because of my history with badminton. But the anime was a good reflection of the sport, showing its ferocious speed and tactics. So to me, Hanebado was one of the highlights of the past summer season, and therefore and overall, I'm going to rate Hanebado at 4 out of 5 stars. As I said, I would love to see a second season of this anime, but I fear for that, since this type of animes rarely get a second season. As I said in my Harukana Receive review, there are a ton of this type of sport animes out there, so you can basically find an anime for every sport there is. A different kind of recommendation that I will give for Hanebado is Shikatsu wa Kimi no Uso, or Your Lie in April. You have probably heard of this anime because it was immensely popular a few years back for very good reason. The reason that I recommend this anime for Hanebado is because of the obsessive mother character that plays a very big role in both animes, and simply because Shikatsu is one of my all-time favorite animes. It is an amazing drama anime that you should have watched. And with that, I conclude my review of Hanebado. As usual, you can find the full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now, if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put it in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put it in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. Then I will say, arigatou gozaimasu, and I will see you all in the next video.